If you had to design the blueprint for an ideal anti-aging drug, you'd want something that's cheap, well-tolerated, available globally, and known to reduce inflammation, improve metabolism, support mitochondrial function, and maybe even slow cellular senescence. In other words, you'd want something a lot like caffeine. While caffeine itself isn't quite potent enough or specific enough to earn a prescription pad, scientists have taken its cellular superpowers seriously. Over the past 2 decades, pharmaceutical research has quietly launched a treasure hunt: find or build molecules that mimic caffeine's effects, particularly its ability to activate AMPK, improve energy sensing, boost autophagy, and blunt oxidative stress. The result is an entire field of drug development that might be best described as caffeine-inspired longevity pharmacology. The first big clue came from understanding how caffeine nudges AMPK, the cellular energy sensor often called the guardian of metabolism. AMPK turns on when energy is low, such as during fasting or exercise, and flips the cellular script from growth to repair. Caffeine doesn't hammer AMPK the way hardcore metabolic stressors do, but it offers a gentle push, enhancing mitochondrial activity, promoting fatty acid oxidation, and indirectly encouraging autophagy. This made researchers wonder, what if we could develop AMPK activators that go beyond caffeine, offering a more targeted, consistent activation without the caffeine buzz? Enter metformin, an old-school diabetes drug that has become a poster child for longevity research. Metformin doesn't work exactly like caffeine, but the two share a very important outcome: AMPK activation via mild mitochondrial stress. Metformin suppresses complex I of the electron transport chain, leading to increased AMP levels, just enough to trigger a cleanup response. In a way, both caffeine and metformin trick cells into thinking they're in a fasted or stress state, without the actual hardship. This is the principle behind many new longevity drugs: create safe, pharmacological fasting mimetics that make cells hustle without burning out. Pharmaceutical companies are now developing more selective AMPK activators, such as A769662 and -8722 Malawian-Quatches, compounds that can directly bind and stimulate AMPK without messing with mitochondria. These drugs aim to deliver the metabolic benefits of fasting, exercise, or caffeine, like reduced inflammation, improved insulin sensitivity, and enhanced lipid metabolism, without the side effects or lifestyle sacrifices. However, the challenge lies in tissue specificity. You want AMPK turned on in muscle and liver, but not necessarily in every single cell type all the time. Targeting becomes critical, because turning AMPK on chronically in some tissues could backfire, leading to unwanted suppression of anabolic processes, or even muscle wasting. But AMPK isn't the only target on caffeine's resume. Caffeine also affects adenosine receptors, particularly A1 and A2A, which play roles in regulating sleep, inflammation, and neuroprotection. Pharmaceutical efforts here have produced adenosine receptor antagonists for neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Some of these drugs, like istradefylline, have already hit the market. By blocking A2A receptors in the brain, just like caffeine does, these drugs aim to reduce neuroinflammation, improve alertness, and protect dopamine pathways. Again, caffeine paved the way for this therapeutic insight, even if its action is broad and messy compared to a precision-designed pharmaceutical. Another emerging strategy is enhancing mitochondrial resilience and autophagy, processes caffeine also tweaks through secondary mechanisms. Compounds like urolithin A from pomegranates and NAD+ boosters like nicotinamide riboside, NR, are being studied for their ability to improve mitochondrial turnover and energy efficiency, effects that intersect with caffeine's AMPK-mediated pathways. Some researchers even talk about creating polypharmacy cocktails, pairing caffeine-inspired AMPK activators with antioxidants, sirtuin boosters, and senolytics for synergistic anti-aging effects. It's the metabolic equivalent of assembling the Avengers. And then there are the designer molecules trying to improve on caffeine's stress-blunting capabilities. Low-grade oxidative stress, DNA damage, and chronic inflammation all accelerate aging. Caffeine seems to reduce some of this damage by supporting DNA repair enzymes and limiting pro-inflammatory cytokine release. Drug developers are investigating small molecules that can stabilize genomic repair processes, modulate immune signaling, or even suppress the harmful senescence-associated secretory phenotype, SESB, that senescent cells produce. These drugs may not be chemical cousins of caffeine, but they're spiritual successors, targeting the same downstream mess caffeine seems to tidy up. Ultimately, caffeine is proving to be less of a direct drug and more of a model compound, a naturally occurring molecule that offers proof of concept for how small chemical interventions can modulate large, complex biological aging pathways. It shows us that you don't need to knock a system out. Sometimes, a light touch that mimics stress is enough to trigger healing. The pharmaceutical world has taken that lesson to heart. From AMPK activators to adenosine blockers, the anti-aging drugs of tomorrow may owe more than a little inspiration to the humble stimulant hiding in your morning brew. And if they succeed, they may help us live longer, not by replacing coffee, but by capturing its best tricks in a capsule.